using kind of crude um, resources. Maybe I'll draw one of those if I can still have it. Yeah, I'll draw the picture, one of your pictures that you drew. Here. So I'm going to block one of the drawings and show you how you can use the lines and how to use the pencil. I really try to hold the pencil to the side of the paper, and I try to get a fairly soft edge. So I'm not creating harsh edges at this point. And I really am going to try to think about the quality of the face, the angle of the face from the chin to the cheekbone and into the forehead, into her hair, and how it's going to drop down over here. I'm thinking of the jawline. I can think about how it gesturally turns. So that's the idea, that maybe this force of the line that we're trying to create. And as I'm going down, I can get a little bit darker because there's more shadow right there. The line will get dark, but because here it's going to be fairly relieved, I want to think ahead and I want to keep that fairly light so I can draw darker over it and not have to erase anything, or these lines will not fight my ideas of what should be there. So here, the next thing I would go for is either find the shape of the hair, so I can tell myself this is how much width there is for the hair comparing to the face, and I can block that in. And then I want to look for the planes of the face, the larger planes of the face, where I think about the eyebrow line and how it travels around. That sets up so much for me. It creates volumes, just like Glenn Vilppu was wrapping around the forms. Now we're starting to feel that energy of the surface turning around. Here, how it comes in. The cheekbone is this large, round mass in the middle. But what I'm drawing is I'm drawing this inner corner at the center, the closest edge to us. And that's usually where the highlight would be, or the highlight would be above the cheekbone, and then you would start seeing the darker areas below. But that's what I'm trying to suggest, this eye socket, this larger opening of the eye that's created in here by the temple bone and the cheekbone joining together. And then how small does it get on the other side? On the other side, the cheekbone is going to be right here. So it actually is more like bent space, while in here it looks like a big opening. Right? It starts to look like C3PO right there without the nose. And then we can find the center line and think about how it turns in. And then this is above the eye level where the bridge of the nose comes in, a little bit higher than the level of the eyes. And I can think about the base of the nose. But because my reference, she's looking up, and think about these relationships of these points. But then I want to know where the tip of the nose is. Her tip of the nose is above her cheekbone, over here. And I can draw that nose. You know, I keep holding on a larger drawing, the pencil sideways, not the writing way. And I want to stretch that with my arm and feel how it wraps around. This is the base of the nose facing up. So everything starts to appear more and more facing up. And that's why we see all the bottom planes and all of these arcing so much. All of these shapes arcing. So when I find the mouth level, what's going to happen? We're going to see the same arcing up sense as it travels around this underlying form of the mouth barrel. And even lower lip. You know, the people might have a thicker lower lip or thicker upper lip at times, but if we turn ourselves this way, all of a sudden the upper lip starts to look thicker and the lower lip starts to look a lot thinner because of the foreshortening. So we start getting these arcs this way, and the lower lip also, the upper portion of it, starts to feel like an arc that way. So a lot of arcs around. So we see a little bit of the bottom plane of the head that help us to think that this has planes, it has thickness underneath. And we can stretch the neck. Think about, where is it going to go? Where is the muscle that comes around it? Splits into two. How does it joins with the muscle over here? All the overlappings that happen there. Where's the ear? Ear is pretty low. It's another way we can think that, you know, the head is really tilted. The ear just keeps going down. The hair kind of has some flow to it that we can start finding as rhythmic lines, the lines that flow and move. You can move your eye from one line into the other. And in here, you can show a lot of energy. Right? This is where you can get a little bit crazier with the linear work. You still want to kind of control things, but you can add energy in there. And still want to suggest forms. So if the hair has this kind of a cylindrical feeling to it on top, you need to suggest that. So here's the eyebrow. That's how it wraps around in here. And I want to start finding the other smaller portions of things. So like the top of the nose comes to the bony part, then becomes tendon. So there's little humps. And then there's a box of the nose right here. You can see that. And that box is two cartilages. This lighter cartilage, I want to represent as softer lines on this side. There it has its own inner corner. And then this is the plane as the center of the nose comes in right here towards the lip. And then we see that center plane up in the front, turning this way, and then the center portion of the mouth is going to wrap around like this. So all of these lines wrapping around, I can even draw a very light line right here where the forehead meets with that whale's tail and there's some breakage in it. I can wrap around my lines around these round bumps of the forehead. Suggest that roundness in the front comparing to more flat sides over here. As I'm drawing the eye socket, I can think about how it wraps around this way before it starts becoming, this is why we have all these wrinkles on the side over here. We have one cylindrical form going this way, and then we have cylindrical form of the cheekbone. We have the base of the nose. It's evident at the corner of the nostril. Sure, but you see the break in here, and we got to show that. And of course, we have the inner corner that will be a little bit softer than this very strong outline edge. Suggest how narrow the front of the nose is comparing to that whole side of the nose. And only after you understand all of these forms, box of the nose, this form of the nostril, only after you feel the larger volumes, you would go into smaller details on the inside. This nostril wraps around like so. That's why we have this corner. It wraps around and it goes underneath the box like this. There are cartilages that are wrapped around, so everything interlocks. I drew this nostril. I should have drawn a little bit better idea of the other nostril to hug this nose on both sides. We drew this portion so we can think about how things wrap around on both sides of the mouth, how they relate and how different they are in their foreshortening. And then when we get that side of the nose, we get to the corner of the eye. But the eye actually is a little bit away from the nose. But a lot of times we make a mistake of making the eye too close. So this is where the corner of the eye is. And again, I'm drawing the whole space of the eyeball first. From the bottom of the eye socket, including that whole area. And then I start subdividing it. So this is the lower eyelid. This is upper eyelid. And the eye is looking up to the side. Maybe like this. We can, if we draw them together, that would be very helpful to find where this arc is going to end up on this side. Because we see it from down below, we're going to see the thickness of the eyelid. The hair kind of wraps around. There's a reason why it grows in a certain way, because it has the ear as an obstacle as it grows, so it always wraps, falls to the ear and then wraps around it. And that kind of starts these curls that naturally happen in there, besides, whether your hair is curly or not. So that's pretty much, how you find the lines that create the structure, the internal structure in there that allow you to feel the turning of the surface. And you want to control your lines and make your lines fairly fluid, so you can move your eye. We can start seeing these connections between the different parts, and we can follow along and not get caught up on the fact that there's some line effects that we like or don't like. Maybe. Everything is drawn with the similar kind of approach. Do you guys have any questions?